Hi, and welcome. We're going to talk about phishing emails today. So, the overall agenda for today's course can be viewed on the page right now. Basically, we're just going to talk about what is a phishing email, how to detect it, and basically use your common sense. That is the overall agenda with this course. So, I'm still the same person as usual. My name is still Daniel Ellebeck, this is still my picture, and I've been working with cybersecurity since 2014. I currently work at a school called CBH Business in Lyngby, located in Denmark. So, let's start off with the statistics about cybersecurity. So, there is a certain percentage shown at the graph here that show that from the earliest of 2007 to the year of 2019, I couldn't find anything from 2020 or 2021. So basically, we're just gonna stick to this graph for now. But what we can see is that it's going down with the amount of spam as percentage of total email traffic, which is a good thing, of course. However, as you can see, there are small raises from 2017, 2018, it goes up a bit. So you would probably expect that the year 2020 or 2021 could have some raises, but it should go down a bit. So that could be a part of a greater question. Why is it that there is not a lot of email spam anymore as opposed to earlier? Well, earlier it was still pretty young. The internet still is pretty young. However, back in the early 2000s, it was even younger. So at a much more younger stage, it basically means that a lot more people would try the typical scam, the typical way of cheating people online by just sending a lot of emails. Now that we're getting closer to 2020, 21, and so on, you can see that it's going down slowly. The scammers are learning that it doesn't really work that well just to send out of a whole bunch of emails. So basically what they most doing these days for successful attacks is spear phishing, which is a directed email or direct to a few or group of people with that in mind. So if you're looking at some interesting facts about how was the last year typical attack in phishing emails. The typical attack was something called credential phishing. Some people would even call it credential harvesting, which is basically the same. You send an email, you ask the user that receives the emails to type in some credentials whenever they click the link, for example. Or even to respond back directly and in the email as a response, clear text, password, and username, which is just a really bad idea. These days, and in 2020 to 2021, usually it's like a keylogger that's being installed on the individual computer, and a keylogger is a piece of software that records every single stroke on the keyboard that you do on it. So basically, if you write hello, I'm having a great day today, that is exactly the same the hacker or the whatever you're gonna call it will see on his or her computer. You can see that last year, 74% of all attacks was all about stealing usernames and passwords. So it is of course a thing that still happens a lot. However, in most occasions, phishing emails doesn't do something really bad just as the first attempt. Most occasions, it's either really bad credential phishing attack or just a social engineering attack, which is, you probably know the Nigerian money scams, like some prince are writing to you, or something different like that you have like a 200 million bank account. You can withdraw from that, but you need to pay $5,000 or $100 before you can get access to it, and blah blah blah. So these things is a lot more common when it's just the masses. So it's very interesting to see the development of how phishing emails will be in 2022 and 2023. So about what is the most targeted sectors in 2020 and plus, meaning onwards. Well, in the Q3 2020, we can see that webmails and software as a services, which is basically the same, is targeted by 31.4%, which is quite a lot, I would say. Cloud storage, file host, telecom, logistics, and stuff like that, they are of course also targeted a lot, but 2.1 versus 31.4 is a big difference. So most of us are using an email client. It's probably called webmail or something like that. Maybe you direct all your traffic from your webmail to your web client installed on your computer. It could be Outlook, or in the old days it was called Outlook Express. There are many different kind of clients you can download to your own computer and install. And basically what you're doing is that you're transferring all incoming emails to your own, and you're basically just sending your emails as you were logged in through the webmail. Many spam emails are sent to the webmail because it's, well, very used these days. So an email address is just an email address. It can be found really easy. So having a secret is not the email address. Email addresses are usually public, really easy to get, and not that difficult to guess. This is probably a little more alerting statistics. When you're asking the questions, what is phishing? Then we can see that people in the age range of 18 to 24 say that 47% says it's correct, they know what phishing is. Okay, so even though that it's really close to half of them, it's still kind of worrying, because what about the other 53%? Basically that means if you have 100 employees, 53 of those might click the phishing emails. Now that's really disturbing in my eyes. So I would say this is a case where we need to focus and learn others to understand the dangers of emails, phishing emails, and social engineering. Now you can probably look at this chart a bit and think, well, what about age 55 in the bottom right? Alrighty then. So they are asked, what is ransomware? Now ransomware is a two-word thing. Ransom is something you need to give to be set free, you could say, and ware is a word for software. So ransom software is called ransomware. Basically it's a piece of software installed on your computer that will spread as a virus pretty fast to all the connected computers on the network, if possible, of course. And the software will encrypt all your data, and then when that's done, you will be prompted to pay a really large amount of money to some hacker, and if so, you're lucky, you will get a key, and then you can unlock your data. However, there's no promise of them removing the software for a computer, so it could activate again at any point in time, and you will be prompted to pay again, which is why you should never pay anything if you're getting hit by ransomware. Ransomware is something that could be installed from a phishing email, not the email itself or directly from the email, but you need to take some sort of action. In most cases you need to download something and install something, which is, I would say, really bad if you think it's a phishing. So yeah, don't click phishing emails. Alright, so enough with the statistics. Now we're going to talk about what is an actual phishing email. An actual phishing email is an email, first of all, and usually the ones that send the phishing emails use something called social engineering. Social engineering is all about cheating, tricking. It's a fraud. You're a trickster. You're hiding behind a false identity. You are saying that I am this kind of person, something famous or something rich, you know. It could even be that you're a bank, or basically any other famous celebrity, or yeah, well, you get the point, I guess. So basically, a phishing email could be, so hello, I'm writing to you. I'm the CEO from this company. We saw your job ad. Could you be interested in some job and come to talk to us? And whenever you come to them and talk to them, they need you to, let's say, pay a little fee, registration fee or something that you will get back, of course, because you already got the job, but it's just a part of the process for you to get your employee card. So you're paying, let's say, $100, and then, well, it seems very legit, everything. You can hire, actors, you'd even be a part of a scamming group, and you hire a small room in a building or something, and you see the secretary and the flowers, and people are sitting on chairs. It seems legit. It's very, very difficult to say, oh, this is not real. Now, this is of course a little more extreme, the case that I just described. It could also be just a very simple phishing emails stating that, oh, your account is now locked, please click on this link, and whenever you click the link, you're being prompted to log in with your own credentials. And if you do that, the hacker will get your credentials and can basically take over your account. That's another more simple example. Alrighty, so 7 ways to detect the phishing emails. The first way is legit companies don't request your sensitive information via email. Okay, so let's say that you have a subscription to, let's say, a cell phone company, and they prompt you to send your login information to your account because they detected suspicious activity, and they want to verify whether your credentials is compromised. Let's say that. Really stupid. Even hard for me to make this up because it is really stupid. So no companies, or even legit companies, will ask you for sensitive information. And what is sensitive information? It could be many things. So they already have your email, and email is not sensitive information in this case. Is your name? Well, probably, because if they didn't tell hello and your name, like hello Mr. Anderson, if your name is Anderson, or even hello Lars Sørensen, whatever your name is, well, if they don't greeted you with your own name, there's a really good chance that they don't have it. So your name could be sensitive information. And other kind of things that could be a little more interesting for them is, of course, account names, social security numbers, user credentials to your accounts, and so on and so on. Next method is legit companies usually call you by your name. I already said that, but I'm just going to say it again. Legit companies usually call you by your name. Some companies don't, of course. They might even just say hello and exclamation mark. And then they're a little more fancy and showing you some images of some happy young people and everything is fine. And this is your new bonus you got. It could be anything really. I'm receiving emails from companies that doesn't greet me at my name, but I know that's their way of doing it. So it's okay. It's just usually if your bank or something a bit more serious write to you, it is by your name, which is why that is one of the things you should look for. Legit companies have domain emails. Yes, many spam emails use Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo Mail, whatever kind of mail client they have access to their sender from address. So you receive an email from Mr. Anderson at gmail.com, and this is about your bank's information, and your bank is asking you to transfer some money. That doesn't happen that way. No one uses Gmail from a serious legit companies. They use their own domains as emails. Alrighty. Legit companies know how to spell. Yeah. It's whenever we're going to look at the different kind of cases that I put into this slideshow about different kind of phishing emails, you will see very stupid constructed emails. So many spam emails are created from a template, and that template basically doesn't take into the consideration that you are Mr. or Mrs. or if you are a many things. They even spell bad, and there's lots of spaces in between words, and it's just really bad. Okay. Legit companies don't force you to their webpage. Okay, so it is very common that very aggressive phishing emails construct the whole email. And when I'm saying the whole email, I'm thinking the area where the whole email fits in. Even though it only like 3 lines of text, then the whole part of it, the window itself, could be a giant hyperlink, a link. So maybe it's very common for you to just click somewhere with the mouse because you want to make sure that you are focused there with your cursor. I don't know, I've seen it before, so I'm just giving you the example. Whenever you click somewhere, you're actually clicking the hyperlink. And if you're clicking a link and being directed to some page, you have no idea what URL you're being directed to. That could potentially try and reset a password or use a security flaw in your browser to get like say browser malware that creates pop-ups and different things and make your life a lot more hard to live in your browser. It could be many different things, okay? Legit companies don't send unsolicited attachment. So if you don't expect an attachment, right? Let's say that you get an email from your bank with a zip file. No. That shouldn't happen, okay? I'm aware that some banks in other countries, I don't know which countries, so I have no examples, might send you a zip file. I haven't heard of it. I've never seen it before. However, there's a principle saying, if you can say it, it probably happened, or it probably will happen. Even legit ones. However, not in Denmark, and not in any North countries, or I would say not in America, not in Canada, not in Russia. I'm pretty sure it should not happen anywhere, but I have no idea really. If you go to a really poor country, for example, of course technologies and awareness is a bit different, but I really don't know. But I'm just saying, if you don't expect some sort of attachment to your email, it's probably a phishing email. Delete it. Legit companies match legitimate URLs. Yeah, sure. So whenever you get a link in your email, it's very common that some people might hover that link with your mouse. Don't do it. First of all, don't hover anything with your mouse. So could hovering be bad? Well, potentially not hovering, but having the mere accident of you clicking the mouse while hovering it and actually clicking the link, that is why you should not do it. And I've seen it before because we are used to clicking links. Whenever we see a link, we just, I'm gonna click it and click. Okay, but that's the thing. You don't want to click the email. So whatever actions you usually do before clicking the emails by moving the cursor to the actual link, don't do it. If you can see the link, sometimes you can actually see the whole URL link. That is still just some text. You don't know what's under the text. It's just the hyperlink name. When you click the name, the actual link itself, where it points to, could be totally different. So if you can see it, and let's say it's a text, it's not a link, but it's something you copy paste, and the link points to something, let's say happyyogacompany.com, and this is your bank, it's pretty sure this is your phishing email. Just delete it, right? Alright, so now we came to the more interesting part, looking at different kind of emails that are phishing emails, examples. So this is the very first one. It's called From Global Pay VT at subject restore your account to David with some attachment you can download. It looks fishy already. Dear customer, we regret to inform you that your account has been restricted to continue using our services. Please, first spelling error. Please, yeah. This seems like a let's assume that you get an email about your account has been restricted. Usually the emails is automated by the system, and they do not contain spelling errors like that. Also, this is a really badly constructed email. Dear customer to David, dear David instead maybe. There's no best regards, there's no email footer, there's nothing. It's just really bare bone. It's just text. It looks so fishy. Second question, do I have an account in Global Pay? Have I access to it right now? If you have a slight like, this could be real, then go to globalpay.com. If you have an account there, type it in manually in your browser and just log in and see if your account is restricted or not. If it's restricted, call them. That's probably my advice here. This is another one from hotels.com, and I think the very first line of hotels.com at rockedpower.com this is from where the email is sent, just tells us off that this is just another phishing email. Now, if you look at the rest of it, it looks pretty darn good, I would say. It's a nice graphics. Looks like someone did the job, and you're getting the usual booking number, whatever, and coupon codes, and it looks pretty fine, you know. But there are things that sometimes, you know, give it away, and this is where you should be aware. So let's assume that that you have been using hotels.com in the past, and you're receiving this kind of confirmation of your request from hotels.com. Of course, that is another giveaway. It says confirmation. I forgot about that. So see how easy it is to miss a line of text. Usually you just look down. So that is a way to think. So look up and confirmation. Did I request something? No, I did not. It's a phishing email. It's just 100% phishing. Deleted. Next one is from Costco, which is from the manager at cbcbuilding.com. I would say, you know, just out of the bat, why even try and do this? You know, even the to field under the date is empty, and delivery. Did I buy something at Costco wholesale? I did not. Well, it's a phishing email. Let's say you did buy something at Costco. I would say, depending on how this email looked, I would say, well, this is probably still a phishing email, because it's very... Well, okay, let's assume that you bought something and you're getting an email about it. Usually it's more an information and not something you should click. Alright, so this is of course just a phishing email. Even the text looks weird, links all over, and yeah, this is actually, if we don't get your time reply, okay, so they're actually threatening you. If you don't, we will deduct 21%. So there are many things in this email, and this is kind of an attempt to socially engineer you to click something, link here, and do something with it. So, next email. fashionlab.com.ua, very first line, Best Buy. This is from Best Buy, and I know that Best Buy have a webpage called bestbuy.com, which can also be seen in the bottom here, bestbuy.com. This is of course just a phishing email, so why trust it? But I know that there is something called bestbuy.com. However, it comes from fashionlab.com.ua, which is just another phishing email. Even the text, Sir Madam. So yes, I'm a Sir Madam. Really good. With weird spaces. They are telling me your order has not been delivered because the specified address was not correct. So basically they know your address is incorrect, which is why they haven't delivered it. It sounds weird. It doesn't happen that way. So they want you to click something, and if you don't receive your reply within a week, we will pay your money back less 17 before. Wow, okay, so less 17. They even got this sentence whole or totally wrong. It doesn't, you cannot say a less 17 what? Percentage, USD, bleh. So no. This is another typical stupid email from golf slip from paving.com. Gulf, whatever. It's from Daniel Bridges 33. It's another phishing email. It's to Dave again, and the manager Daniel Bridges tell you that the USPS, I think that is, isn't it some postal delivery stuff? Our courier couldn't make the delivery of the parcel through the 20th August. Print label and show in the nearest post office. Okay, so print label and show it. It sounds like a command, and it is basically a command. So many things about this email could be said, even though the very first line of it, there's a red flag, literally. Okay, so basically the sender sent it as an important email, so that is why there's a red flag. But I think Daniel Bridges just did us a really good favor by flagging it as a red flagged email. It is a phishing email, and of course it is red flagged. Okay, so this is a typical really bad phishing email. It is from payment@epayment.com. Okay. It is subject as new payment on your account, and they are replying back to you. So first question, do you know epayment.com? Probably not. Okay, phishing email. Did you write to them in a subject, with an email with a subject called new payment on your account? No, you did not. Phishing email. All right. You need to reply to bank wire transfer department at gmail.com. Okay, so that's a really long name for a bank, and they're using Gmail. The from and the reply to are different. It's perfect phishing email. They really did it this time. Please find attached bank slip for new payment on your account. Not really sure how to interpret that. It sounds stupid. And then you have a zip file, new payment. I'm gonna do that. No, this is a phishing email. It is really horrible, and you should never do it. Next one. This is from Nokia or Nokia, whatever you're gonna say. info@news.nokia.com. Okay, that's looks fine. Save your stuff, sign in your Nokia account before it disappears forever. Okay. Poof, and it's gone. So, first of all, do I have a Nokia account? No, I don't think Nokia accounts are common to have. I know this email is from 2014, but to my knowledge, Nokia phones was not that, well, normal in 2014. Even Nokia stuff wasn't normal back in 2014. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was normal in other countries. However, I didn't live there, so I don't know. However, we know that you haven't used your Nokia account to access Nokia services in quite a while to protect your privacy. This account will be deleted in 14 days. To protect my privacy. Have nothing to do with privacy. Okay, so basically, this is not normal. I would say that if I'm reading this email, it looks okay, maybe. I would say it looks bad, because there are many things that show this is a phishing email. First of all, the way they treat your unused account. I haven't heard of any service that threatened to delete your account if you're not using it for a while. Secondly, the to field is empty. I don't have a Nokia account. Many things. If so, you do have a Nokia account, and you actually have received stuff like this before. call them, make a phone call and say, hello, you're talking to me, I'm Mr. Sir, whatever, and I received this email, is this okay, is this legit? And they probably say no, and then it's a phishing email. Alrighty, so you received an email. What if all checks out so far? How can you verify whether it's a phishing email or not? Now, this is the next big question. Think about it for a while, pause the video now, and give it a 2-minute thought. And we're back. So you thought about it for 2 minutes. Okay, let's look at it. It's not that difficult, but it can be really difficult. Okay, so I'm no holy bird. I have clicked on phishing emails before. I have clicked on links. I've even downloaded stuff from phishing emails in the past. It is no shame to walk the path. Let's do it together then. However, I would say, why not just be aware of it and miss, let's say, 99% of all the phishing stuff, and then maybe do a oops on 1%. The thing you need to be aware of is basically use your common sense, okay? Does shit happens? Sorry, yes, it does. And whenever it does, basically you need to react on it. And I'm gonna get back to how you're going to react if you clicked or downloaded something from a phishing email. However, how would you then verify? As the text says, it can be very difficult. Always ask yourself, do this look correct? Did you expect this email? 2 questions. If you can say no to one, it's a phishing email. Delete it, don't think about it. If you have no suspicion or whatsoever it's a phishing email, it is probably not a phishing email. Open it, click it, do whatever you want to do. Because this is the thing. I got asked a question some time ago, Daniel, what if I'm 100% sure that this is not a phishing email, and then I actually click it, and then it is a fake phishing email, then I get installed malware, I'm getting targeted by stuff and hackers, and okay, so if you're that worried about using email, don't you have an email? It's really just my advice. Don't have an email. And these days it is impossible not to have an email. So you need to be aware of phishing emails. You need to understand how it works, and you need to open emails at some point. It's just what I'm saying is that you cannot be 100%, but you can be 99.5 or whatever, very high percentage sure that this is a legit email. Then open it by all means. So we have a case at some point at my job, and I removed all names, and this is just a very anonymous case, so nothing spoiled here. So Bob received an email from a woman he never knew with some content that needed to be opened. Bob then writes back to that woman from a totally new email and asks if the content sent to him is legit. Bob really fast gets the response with the answer, yes, it is for you. Bob then opened the content, and moments later a large number of emails sent out to the whole organization. The woman's emails was compromised. Even if you can get a response back, many people would say, oh, it's safe now. Well, I can trust the content because I got told to trust it. So people are eager to trust others. If others are telling us that we can trust something, we have an excuse to trust them. It's a psychology part. It is social engineering. It is fraud. It is cheating. It's a trickster. You need to use your own common sense. Do you receive an email that seems weird? Delete it. Don't do stuff with it. Don't reply back to whatever email it is. You might even be convinced to do further even more. And in many cases, it's really bad. And then you're being caught in the web. Okay, so what can happen if you click a link in a phishing emails or open attached content? Basically, many different things can happen. You can read the text. It is really easy just to pause the video. I'm gonna tell you one thing and then you should read the others yourself. The very first one is coding that uniquely identifies you. In many cases, and this is not a lie, this is not a fantasy. In many cases, many phishing emails doesn't do anything. They basically just identifies you, that you clicked this email. And how do they do that? Well, whenever you click an email, it could be directed to some, let's say, an evil hacker webpage that records that you clicked the link. In the link, it could be your email or your ID, which they have, let's say, in the database of their own system. So they get a tick on their system telling, oh, this unique ID that we created, clicked the link, and then just associate that ID with your email and they know that you clicked the link. When you click the link, you prove to the hackers that you clicked it. And when you clicked it, they might even try to send you even better scamming phishing emails to get you to try to click on anything really more bad or, easier or whatever gonna promise you to trick you even higher. They might even sell your email as this is a high profile target. And this is a thing. Your email can be sold on the black market of the backside of the internet to scammers, to hackers, to phishing email creators, who knows? Because you prove to them that you are a good customer. You click the link. So really, I would say take your time and read the other things here. And if you're getting nervous from reading your emails, I understand. However, you need to get over it and use your common sense, and you can do it. I trust it. You just need to be aware of any email could potentially be a phishing email. What to do if you clicked or downloaded content from a phishing email? Of course. Now comes the serious part. First of all, let's say you clicked a link. This is the first part. If you clicked a link in the phishing email, I'm not talking about you have your inbox and you click on the actual, highlighted you received a new mail, and then it opens in the big area where you can see the mail. That's not what I mean with clicking the mail. Clicking is opening the mail, you're seeing it, and then you click something in the mail. That's clicking a link, okay? First of all, you should change your password. If you can do it from another device, well, that's a really good idea. The password you need to change is of course your mail. It could be many things other than that you need to change your password on. You need to run some virus scanners, at best offline. Turn off your internet and run the scanners. And tell your IT department that you've been compromised, and well, the best idea is to do it from the phone, not your computer. In some cases, you might even need to get your machine reinstalled, and this is very serious because I would say people ask me sometimes, Daniel, is this something I should do every time I do a oops? I click the mail. It's like, it depends. I would say if you want to be on the safe side, 100%, the answer should be yes, but that's probably a bit paranoid. Again, it depends what kind of job function you have and how paranoid you should be. And of course, you have a really high job function, you should probably have been attending some phishing email awareness courses, just like this one. So what if you download content? Basically the same things, run scanners, change your passwords, maybe you might need to reinstall your machine and tell the IT department. So what if you're a private person and sitting at home on your own private computer with lots of material from a very long time? I would say in many occasions you might even have a virus scanner installed or some anti-malware, whatever. You need to update it, of course, keep it updated always as the part of the whole strategy of being safe on the internet. However, run it and do it offline. If you have a slight idea that whatever you downloaded did something bad to your computer, there's a really good chance that you might need to reinstall your computer, and that's about it. So you think about, what about all my files, the things that I have on my computer, all my family photos, my installed programs, my whatever save games, yeah. Sometimes you do need to take a backup, and if that is what you need to do, then do it on some external device and save that for later. And whenever you're done in reinstalling your computer, then you could scan that device. But it is, of course, a risk. And it is hard for me to say do this or do that, because I haven't seen it. I haven't looked at it. So I cannot say do this or do that. I can only say generally, whenever you do this or that, generally that is what you should do. And this is what I advise you to do. So now we have some recommendations in general. Alrighty, so basically, if you want to be a little more safe on your email account, use something called multi-factor authentication. Let's say that you're being targeted by a credential harvesting attack or credential phishing attack, where the hacker is trying to trick you into typing in your user credentials in a fake form they created on a web page. If you use multi-factor authentication, well, maybe you give them your, let's say, username and password. However, they cannot really log in because they cannot multi-factor authenticate, because they don't have your phone, your email, whatever to get access to your email. So, yeah, I forgot to say that you cannot use your email to multi-factor authenticate your own email, because you need to have access to it. So that would usually be your phone, an SMS, or some QR code you should scan with your app, or something you should put in. So there's of course an extra layer of security, if possible, of course. When you receive an email with a link that you're not sure about, delete it. Common sense. Choose a password that is 16 characters or more long. And I want to say this once, I want to say it twice, and the third time. Focus on length over complexity. Complex passwords is not difficult to break. If length is, let's say, 8, and you think, oh, I'm gonna make like a exclamation mark, a 1, and a comma, and an M, and an L, and an O, and a 1, and a 2, sure, it's better than password. But the guidelines these days is focus on length over complexity, okay? Create a long password that you can remember. That is the all and general rule. Alrighty, so I want to say thanks for listening to me for about 40 minutes. This was my phishing email awareness course, and on the next couple of slides there's going to be some sources and links to different places, and I'm going to put the links in this description below on my YouTube channel, where this video is also located. And from there you can access it. I'm just gonna browse through the last 4 pages so you can see what this is all about. I have some sources here. Some of them is the sources for the data that I used in the slide, and the last here looks like, if I remember correctly, it's a link to my YouTube channel. I also found something called online phishing test. Of course, there's a ton of them. This is just one of the many of the different ones you can find. Some online small test, and it could be potentially a good idea to do that afterward you watch my online phishing awareness course. And this is the recommended site that NIST guidelines, which is the National Institute for many things, but in this indication it's cybersecurity. They recommend to check how secure your password is, and this is not about complex passwords, this is about length and passwords. And of course, a list of free scanners for whatever you need to install in the computer. Sometimes you just need free scanners, and they can be just as good as paid scanners. Usually, whenever you're paying for software, you're usually getting some support, or you can call them, or things that is not really necessary for your safety and your protection. It's more like free antivirus, anti-malware, different kind of scanners can be just as good. So this is just a list. You can find many of them, just one I found. So back to the last slide, I want to say thanks for listening. I hope you now have a better understanding of what is a phishing email and what you should avoid and go for and click for and not click on in future emails. I want to say thanks for listening and see you again next time. Bye bye.